Hello students, today we will see the next concept is garbage collections, that means finalize method. We know that constructor are used to initialize an objects when it is declared. This process is referred as initialization. Java runtime is a automatic garbage collector system. You have already seen in C++, if we create objects dynamically with new operator, then the memory allocated for these objects and gets deallocated manually just by using delete operator. In Java, the deallocations is handled automatically. The technique which deallocates memory automatically is called as the garbage collections. In Java, garbage means unreferenced objects. The garbage collector is automatically invoked when the program is being run. Then garbage collector can be called by calling GC method of runtime class. Garbage collection is the process of reclaiming the runtime unused memory automatically. In other words, it is the way to destroy the unused objects. That means the objects are not in use. To do so, we were using free functions in C language and delete functions in C++. But in Java, it is performed automatically. So, Java provides better memory management. There are three ways. First is by nulling the reference. Second is by assigning a reference to another. And third is by anonymous objects. Then we will how can objects be unreferenced? There are many ways, but we will see these three ways. Garbage collection is the process of reclaiming the runtime unused memory automatically. Java provides better memory management. First is by nulling a reference. For example, employee is equal to new employee, then set as object E is equal to null by nulling the reference. Then second way is by passing a reference to another. Suppose employee is the class and E1 is the objects. First objects employee E1 is equal to new employee. Then second object is E2. Employee E2 is equal to new employee. Then E1 is equal to E2. That means now the first objects referred by E1 is available for garbage collection. And then third way is by anonymous objects, new employee semicolon. Then it having some advantages of garbage collection. It makes Java memory efficient because garbage collector removes the unreferenced objects from heap memory. Then second is it automatically done by garbage collector, that means a part of Java virtual machine, so we don't need to make extra efforts. The finalize method is invoked each time before the object is garbage collected. This method can be used to perform cleanup processing, and this method is defined in object class as protected void finalize and code of the finalize in curly braces. Then second is GC method for garbage collections. The GC method is used to invoke garbage collector to perform cleanup processing. The GC is found in system and runtime classes. Public static void GC method and in curly bracket write the coding. Then how garbage collection works? When the reference of an object is not exist, then it is assumed that objects is no longer needed and the memory which is occupied by the objects is reclaimed. So garbage collector automatically frees the memory resources used by the object. But sometimes the objects may hold some non-Java resources such as file handle or window character font. The garbage collector cannot free these resources. In order to free these resources, we need finalize method, and this is called as the finalization. By using the finalization, we can define specific action that will occur when an object is being destroyed by the garbage collector. To add a finalize to our class, we have to define its finalize method. And the finalize method's syntax is protected void finalize. Then write the finalizing code here and then closing curly braces. Here the keyword protected is the specifier that means it prevents access to finalized by code defining outside its class. Then garbage collector runs periodically. It checks for objects which are no longer referenced by any running state or indirectly through any running objects. Before it gets free, the Java runtime calls the finalize method, and protected keyword prevents the access of finalized code from the outside class. That means Java does not support the destructor. Then simple example for garbage collection. Suppose here class test garbage first is the class name, then public void finalize, and then print the message object is garbage collected, then main method, and created two object s1 is equal to new text garbage first, then create second object s2 is equal to text garbage, then s1 is equal to null, s2 is equal to null, then system.gc. Then when we run this program, we will get the output for s1 is object is garbage collected and s2 is garbage is collected. Then second concept is date and time processing. The time is a physical property. For a physicist, it is a dimension to dimensions for tightly coupled with a space. That means space time. Physical time passes uniformly. For physical time, there is no notion of date or clock or second. There are notions defined by humans. The Java language provides direct support for the time-based objects. Java provides the date class available in java.util package. These classes encapsulate current date and time. The java.util.date and the java.util.calendar classes provides access to storing, manipulating the dates. Java provides the date class available in java.util package. These encapsulate the current date and time. Here format date format. To format a date, we can use simple data format class. For example, we use ddmmyy as a format. Date format df1 is equal to new simple date format, and then value format of date is ddmmyy. Then string formatted date 1 is equal to df1 dot format new date. Then or second way is date format df2 is equal to new simple date format 4 times y, then mmdd. Then string formatted date 2 is equal to df2 dot format and new date. These are the two ways, two types formats of date. Then date class supports two constructors. First is date. This constructor initialize the objects with the current date and time. And second constructor is date long millisecond. This constructor accepts an argument that equals the number of milliseconds that have elapsed since midnight January 1st, 1970. Here are some methods of date class. First is boolean after date returns true if invoking date object contains a date that is later than the one specified by date, and otherwise it returns the false. Then second is boolean before date it returns true if the invoking date objects contains a date that is earlier than the one specified by date, otherwise it returns false. Then third is object clone. Duplicate the invoking date objects, then int compare to date, then compares the value of invoking objects with that of date. Return 0 if the values are equal, then return negative if the values are invoking objects is earlier than date, then return a positive value if the invoking object is later than the date. Then int compare to object obj operates identically to compare to date if obj is of class date, otherwise it throws a class cast exception. Then boolean equals object date returns true if the invoking date object contains same times and date as the one of specified by date, otherwise it returns false. Then long get time, it returns the number of milliseconds. Then int hash code return a hash code of invoking objects. Then void set time long time, set the time and date as specified by time which represent an elapsed time in millisecond. Then string to string converts the invoking date objects into a string and return the result. These are the 10 methods of date class. Then getting current date and time. This is very easy method to get current and time in Java. You can use a simple date objects with toString method to print the current date and time as follows. For example, package import the package java.util.date, then declare the class date demo, then main method public static void main string args, then instantiate a date objects date, then date is equal to new date, then display the time and data using toString system.out.println date.toString. Then when we run this program, then we will get the today's day, then date, and then timing. Then to specify the time format, use a time pattern string. In this pattern, all ASCII letters are reserved as a pattern letters, which are defined as follows: character G, era designer, for example AD, then Y, year in 4 digits, for example 2001, then M for month in year, July, for example July, then D for day in month, then H for hours in AM or PM, then capital H for hours in day, then M for minute in hours, S for second in minutes, capital S for millisecond, then capital E for day in week, then D for day in year, F for a day of week in a month, then small w for week in year, for example 40, then capital W for week in month, for example 1, small a for AM or PM marker, then K for small k for hours in a day 1 to 24, for example 24, then capital K for hours in AM or PM, for example 10, then Z for time zone, Eastern Standard Time, single quotation mark escape for text like delimiter, for example, then double quotation is a single quote, then this is the single quote. Then date comparison. Following are the 3 ways to compare two dates. You can use getTime to obtain the number of milliseconds that have elapsed since midnight January 1st, 1970 for both objects and then compare these two values. You can use the second ways method before, after and equals, because the 12th of the month comes before the 18th, and for example new date 99 to 12 before new date 99 to 18, it returns true. You can use the third method, compare to method, which is defined by the comparable interface and implemented by date. Then calendar. The calendar class can retrieve information in the form of integer such as year, month. It is abstract and hence cannot be instantiated like the date class. A calendar object provides all the necessary time field values needed to implement the date time formatting for a particular language and calendar style. The following code shows the use of calendar class. Import java.util.star semicolon. Then calendar provides getter and setter for date fields. Syntax for getter and setter. Public final int get int field and public final void set int field int values. Then calendar field access. Calendar dot year. First is calendar dot year, it identifies the year. Then second calendar dot month, it identifies the month. Calendar dot day of month, it identifies the day. Then calendar dot hour identifies the hour. Then calendar dot minute identifies the minutes, and calendar dot second identifies the second. Then measuring time. Java provides this static method in the class. Many applications such as game and animations require good timing controls. Java provides static methods in the system class. Then first is system.currentTime millis, returns the current time in millisecond. Measuring elapsed times long. Start time is equal to system.currentTime millis. Then coding being measured. Then long. Estimated time is equal to system.currentTime millis, then start time. Then system.nanotime, it returns the current value of most precious available system timer in nanosecond in long. Then measuring elapsed time, long start time is equal to system.nano time, the code being measured, and long estimated time is equal to system.nano times start time.